Once upon a time, in the heart of a great city, there lived an ugly young witch named Mola. She was not just ugly, she was terrifying. Her face was full of scars, her skin was rough like tree bark, and her eyes were dark and sunken. People feared her, and she hated them for it. But Mola had a dream, to be beautiful. Not just any kind of beauty, but the most beautiful woman in the city. She lived in a dark, abandoned building in Black Alley, a place where no one dared to go after sunset. People whispered about the strange lights that flickered in her windows and the eerie sounds that floated from inside. But no one knew the real horror that lurked within those walls. Mola had tried every spell she knew to make herself beautiful, but nothing worked. One day, she discovered an ancient book hidden in the deepest corner of her lair. It spoke of a forbidden magic, one that could steal the beauty and life of another and transfer it to someone else. Excited, Mola knew exactly who her target would be: Isla, the most beautiful woman in the city. Isla was kind, gentle, and loved by everyone. She had long, flowing golden hair, sparkling blue eyes, and a smile that could light up the darkest street. Everywhere she went, people admired her. Mola envied her so much it made her sick. Mola began to follow Isla, watching her every move. She learned where Isla lived, where she walked, and where she liked to go. She even learned that Isla had a habit of walking alone in the early mornings before the city woke up. One misty morning, Mola waited in the shadows. As Isla walked past, Mola whispered a spell and reached out her hand. A dark mist shot toward Isla, but just before it touched her, a dog barked loudly nearby, breaking Mola's focus. The mist disappeared, and Isla felt a strange chill but kept walking. Mola cursed under her breath. She had to be more careful next time. Mola realized she needed to get close to Isla. Disguising herself as an old beggar, she sat near Isla's workplace, pretending to be hungry and weak. When Isla saw her, she stopped and handed her some food. "Are you okay?" Isla asked with concern. Mola coughed weakly. "I have nowhere to go. No family, no home." Isla's kind heart could not ignore such suffering. "Come with me," she said. "I will help you." Mola smiled behind her disguise. Isla had walked right into her trap. That night, Isla took Mola to her home and prepared a warm meal for her. But as soon as Isla turned her back, Mola pulled out a small bottle filled with a dark green potion. She poured it into Isla's drink and waited. But just as Isla was about to take a sip, her cat jumped onto the table, knocking the cup over. Mola clenched her fist in frustration. Another failed attempt. But she wasn't giving up. She just needed to be smarter. The next night, Mola crept into Isla's room while she was asleep. She whispered the ancient spell, her fingers glowing with dark magic. A thin thread of light started to pull from Isla's body toward Mola. But just as Mola's skin began to smooth and her hair turned silky, Isla's eyes snapped open. She saw the witch standing over her, hands glowing with dark energy. Isla screamed and kicked Mola away. The magic broke, and Mola's face twisted back into its ugly form. Furious, she grabbed Isla's wrist, but Isla fought back. She knocked over a lamp, sending the room into chaos. Neighbors heard the noise and rushed to Isla's apartment. Mola knew she was out of time. She grabbed her cloak and ran, disappearing into the night. Mola was furious. She had come so close. But now, Isla knew the truth. The whole city would be looking for her. She decided to try one last time. This time, she would not fail. Mola kidnapped Isla and took her back to Black Alley. She tied Isla to a chair, surrounding her with dark symbols drawn in blood. Tonight, Mola hissed, I will take everything from you. But Isla was not as weak as Mola thought. She had spent the entire time cutting the ropes with a hidden knife. Just as Mola began the final spell, Isla broke free and threw the knife, slicing through Mola's hand. Mola screamed as the spell backfired. Dark magic exploded around her, twisting and consuming her body. She let out one last wail before vanishing into thin air. Isla thought it was over, but Black Alley had a secret. Mola's body was gone, but her soul had latched onto something deep beneath the city, something ancient and powerful. A force that had been sleeping for centuries. Soon after, the city was plagued by strange occurrences. People saw shadows moving unnaturally, whispers floated through the streets at night, and the air carried an unsettling chill. One evening, as Isla walked past a mirror, she gasped. Her reflection didn't match her movements. The face staring back at her was no longer hers, it was Mola's. Determined to end this once and for all, Isla sought out the old sorcerer once again. He guided her to the city's oldest underground crypt, where Mola's spirit had taken root. There, Isla found a massive black mirror, pulsating with dark energy. With the sorcerer's help, she began a powerful incantation, summoning all of her strength to seal Mola away forever. The witch's voice shrieked from the mirror, the glass cracking as shadows burst out, clawing at Isla. Isla did not stop. She pressed her palm to the mirror, channeling every ounce of light within her. The shadows recoiled, and Mola's spirit let out an ear-piercing scream as she was sucked back into the void. The mirror shattered, and with it, Mola's presence was finally erased. The city returned to normal. Isla, though shaken, knew she had won. The whispers ceased, the shadows vanished, and the eerie chill that once haunted the streets disappeared. Black Alley, once a place of nightmares, was abandoned completely. Over time, nature reclaimed it, and the building that once housed Mola's darkness crumbled into dust. Isla lived the rest of her life in peace, knowing she had saved not just herself, but the entire city.